Hey, Phil, cargo shorts are still in, right? Like these are cool. I'm just saying, I better get a lot of pussy off of all these dick jokes. Bowen Yang is like, game, match, set. So I'm here in New York. Yeah. So last night I went to go see SNL, and it was a good one. You got to see it. Will Ferrell put his nutsack on Paul McCartney's drum set. Gotta see it. Gotta see it. Bro. But John Mulaney's here. Yeah, we're pumped. Pumped to see John Mulaney. It's good to see him sober. Yeah, sober. Let's give him a big can. Sorry, excuse me. No, John got his act together, which was really good to see. We've been hanging out. He introduced me to his family, and that was great. Yeah, and you could kind of see like the twinkle in his eye, and I'm kind of like, oh, he almost got the bloodshot out. No, he's doing great. He's got a great team around him, good friends. Yeah, let's give John a hand. Let's give John one. I hate my hands. They're like hairy, and like you gotta cut the finger. I gotta cut my fucking fingernails. Yeah, and I scratch my ass like all the time. It was just annoying. And then you get like shit stuck in him. Like, look at this one, dump. Look at this. Right? This one's tough because it's like my knuckles are super knobby, and when I get married, like once you put the ring on, it's like not coming off. Like we're gonna have to amputate the finger, and where do we go from there? I don't know, but let's not go there. But guys like to put their hands in their pants. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like when they're just chilling, you know, and it's actually a sign that they're comfortable, like around you or what they're doing. But it can get a little dangerous if they get kind of excited after their mind starts wandering. And girls don't really have this problem because they can just start thinking about Stormy Daniels playing slow pitch softball or something. But I'm here in New York, and I've got no plans. So somebody has got to take me home, because I have a tendency to get lost. And when I get smashed, I'm kind of like Stevie Wonder if he was in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Just like, in every 3 steps, you just pull the e-brake and just like get back in there. But I actually heard the fastest way to get around New York is by rat. and I saw a really big one earlier today, and I was like, you know, if I could somehow get like a saddle and just be like, and just like, right? Like we can make this work. We can make it work. What do you think, Ma'am Donnie? But it's the city that never sleeps, so naturally I woke up hungover. So I called my friend John, John Mulaney. Yeah, he's been kind of an inspiration, definitely a mentor, mostly a friend. He taught me how to tie a tie, and then he showed me that like right in the knot you can fit just like a tiny bag of Coke, which is cool. that was his thing. But he said, let's go to the park. Let's go to Central Park, which is beautiful. It was really cool to see. And we were looking at people who were like, if John was still an addict, he might be hanging out with that guy right there. So I'm going to tell you a story. It happened yesterday, because that is kind of how stories work, right? So this kid next door comes back from college, and he comes up and sees me. He's like, TJ, like, I just got some cigs from Hong Kong, and they will rock your world. And I'm like, yeah, let me finish my walk, all right? And so I'm walking around the block, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm just going, I have to be okay with what I've done, what I do, and what I do in the future. Because it's like, Voldemort said, live with yourself. You know? And that was tough. And I knew I didn't want to go back to like Frank the Tank in old school, just like, once it hits the lips, like, you know, beer bonging and stuff. But, yeah, I got back to our houses or like our neck of the woods, and I was like, all right, man, let's hit this shit, you know? And I told him, I was like, I haven't had a cig since Christmas. You know, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm like, this guy's like kind of an enabler, right? And realizing that he probably thinks an enabler has something to do with the Wi-Fi connection. But I took it. I felt it. I remembered. Yeah. But I'm kind of looking at it as like life, and you have to like remember your past, look to the future, and determine what you do today, right? John still looks like a choir boy, doesn't he? And it's like, I know nobody here wants to hear him sing. But I asked him what his favorite song is, and he said, The Sound of Silence. I'm like, John, you've heard that song before, right? Goes like, hello darkness, my old friend. And he goes, hey, Tej, I'm going to pull you through this like that horse buggy over there. I said, let's go buy some water. And John's like Upper East Side now and everything. And he's like, you mean like Aquafina? And I'm like, dude. Alright, fuck that shit. I'm getting a fucking Coke. Alright. Cheers. Let's hear it for John.